just gently sit back. And as you sit back, you're going to squeeze the heels in and sit back on your heels. Welcome, new friends. Can you guys hear me okay? Just making sure the sound is good. Great. And yeah, so we just talked about in the beginning, just adaptability. And so you can, as you sit back on your heels in Vajrasana, and just find your comfort level here. So this is to open up the front of the ankles. And the most you can keep your heels together is good, but if they come a little bit apart, that's okay. And if it's too much, you just bring your fingertips forward to take a little bit of the weight off of the heels. Otherwise, just sitting back on your heels and coming upright through the top of your head. And just breathing. So you can even close the eyes and you'll feel the front of the shins here open up. And yeah, so this idea of adaptability, which I always think of when we're working in the feet, because the feet have 26 bones meant for adaptability. So as we go out and walk on the earth, a really good exercise to do for the feet and the arches of the feet. The feet have this ability to adapt to all the sort of changing ground underneath. And so just taking a few more breaths here and arriving. And again, just allowing the sitting bones to get heavy into the heels. Yeah. Great. And then we'll interlace the hands. If you can, stretch the palms up towards the ceiling. And your lower back's going to start to arch a little bit more. So you just want to, again, let go of the lower back, let the tailbone drop down. So in working the ankles and the feet today, we're also going to come up through the hips and do some lower back work. And just working on the feet will help the lower back as well. So one more big breath in here. And then on the exhalation, we'll just release the fingertips to the floor. And let's take the hands forward. And we'll just come up onto the knees and move the ankles in some circles here. Great. And then we're going to tuck the toes under and we'll sit back into toe stretch pose. And so again, feel free to bring your hands out in front if needed. Otherwise, you can sit back on your heels, and it's nice to just reach back and spread the little toes of the feet. Try to keep the heels squeezed in if you can. Yep. And then we'll again reach the arms overhead and interlace the hands, stretching the palms up. Just get this nice opening through the sides of your waistline here. So we can inhale, knit the front of the ribs in to open up the back a little more. And then as you exhale, reach upward. And then we'll exhale, release the hands. Let's do a little side stretching here, setting your right hand down, if you can, to touch the floor, and reaching your left arm up and over. Nice. And then inhale, come on up, and exhale to the other side. Left fingertips down, right arm comes up and over. And just go ahead and take one more big breath in here. Reach and stretch. And then exhale, coming up, and we'll set our hands forward. Again, come up onto your knees and just move the feet and ankles in some circles. Great. And then we'll do one more thing here for this bottom, for the arches of the feet. So you're going to set your left top of your foot right into the arch of the right foot and then sit back. And this one is sort of a love-hate pose for me. It gets kind of deep into the fascia on the soles of the feet, especially the inner arch, often where the reflexology point of the kidney, adrenal area is. And so it can sometimes feel a little sore. And so just work at your own pace here, taking some deep breath and just seeing if you can relax the lower back, relax the lower body. Yeah, breathe into the sensation. And good. And then we'll inhale, come forward, and we're just going to switch sides, placing the top of your right foot into the ankle and then slowly sit back. Yeah, and so you kind of want that bony part of the top of your foot right inside the inner arch area. And you'll sit back and just smile, meeting those deeper sensations. And yeah, just be at your edge. So if it's too much, just lean a little forward. If it's not enough, you can actually move your sitting bones around and find those sweet little sensation spots. Yeah. Good, good, good. And then we'll inhale. We're going to come back up again, move the ankles and feet around in some circles, getting that blood flow, the chi into the feet. Great. And then let's come back here into our first downward dog, and we'll take our first dog pose here with the feet wide. So you can walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat and bring the pinky to the outer edge of the mat. So we're nice and wide here on the mat. Bend your knees. Yeah. And then reach back. So with the knees bent, we can get a little more into the hip joints here. So get a nice opening, and you can get more length in your spine. Great. And then take another deep breath in here and exhale all the way out, reaching back through the hips, the sitting bones. And then we'll walk our feet a little closer and do some dog walking here. So we'll bend the right knee, extend the left heel back and down. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. So getting that stretch, opening through the back of the heel, ankle, and calf muscle. Great. And then come back up onto the toes and exhale the right heel down. I went water skiing the other day and I'm feeling it still in my calves. You'll appreciate that, Catherine. It's a part of the body that never gets worked. So, and then just go side to side a few more times with lots of focus on the hinges of your toes, your ankles, and your knees. So see if you can line up those hinges as you move. Lifting the toes of the foot that goes flat. Yeah. Good, you guys. And then let's go ahead and walk up to the top of our mats and separate the feet a little wider than the hips. Outer feet parallel to the mat. Inhale a full breath. Lift the belly, the heart, the chest. We're going to get nice and long in the spine. And then on the exhale, fold forward, bow. And breathe. So let's just make this a nice warm-up pose here.
Thank you, Berlin, for being so sharing and kind.
Can you guys make sure that you're muted? I think that might be you, Kim. Yeah. And then just take your elbows and stretch the spine long. Let the head relax. And just oscillate your weight a little forward and back in your feet. And just notice what happens when you come into the balls of the toes. Notice the muscles that engage. And then what happens when you come into the heels more? And then what happens when you press the inner edges of the feet and then the outer edges? So you're just in this curiosity, exploration. Great. And then we'll release our hands back to the floor, scoot the feet in. And let's pick up the left leg, reach it straight back behind you. And just imagine you have a bright paint color on the bottom of your foot, and you're going to press your foot, make an imprint on the wall behind you. Just colorful imprint. So open up that foot nice and big. And then on the exhale, bend your right knee and step all the way back into a lunge. And stay a little bit light on your fingers. And then we're just going to slide and glide forward and then back. Yeah, and you're going to move through the feet a little bit here. So you can come forward, stretching the back toes. And then as you reach the hips back, you can come up onto your right heel, opening up the front foot. Yeah, just play in your feet. Rolling back and forth. Great. One more time. And exhale back. Great. And then we'll place the hands down. Let's step back to downward facing dog. And just take a full stretch here. Imagining a sling around the top of your thighs, just lifting and sliding your hips back. Great. And then let's inhale, lower the hips, slide the chest forward. And on the exhale, we'll bring our knees down, chest down, come all the way onto our bellies. And then inhale, come into a baby cobra here and just imagine this snake-like movement through your spine, back and forth. Yeah, we're just going to do we call it a Sahaj cobra. So spontaneous, easy flowing cobra, just to get the movement up through the spine. You can play with the feet here. Good. And then just come into a full cobra here. Inhale. And exhale, lower, press back through the knees. And then we'll come back again to downward facing dog. And take a breath, inhale. And exhale. Great, look between your hands, step your left foot forward. And again, come up onto the tips of the fingers and we'll just do some sliding and gliding. Reach your chest forward, stretch the back toes. And then as the hips come back, we'll come up onto the front heel. Reach through the back heel. And then inhale, coming through, opening the chest here. Stay connected to your back foot. And then on the exhale, come up onto your front heel. Yes, so we just play and articulate the feet today. And exhale. The feet can really tell us a lot about what's going on in the structures above. Exhale. And then we'll come back to a lunge and let's hop to the top of our mats. Inhale here, halfway up with the spine, and exhale, fold in. And again, we'll come back here to Uttanasana, forward bend. And actually just place your hands lovingly on your feet here. And just feel these padas, the feet connected down into the Gaia, the earth. It's the way in which we walk and connect to that great mother. Let's honor that here for a moment in your body. Beautiful. Exhale all the way out. And we're just going to roll up. So bend the knees and roll your way up to standing. Great. And let's come up to the top of our mats and we'll just stand in Samastitihi. Nice, you guys. Hands folded at the heart. And close your eyes for a moment here, coming into the mountain pose, Samastitihi. And we feel that Sama, this Sama is equal. Stitihi is standing. So feel the equal standing in your feet. And it's dynamic. When you really get that feeling, it's very dynamic. It's not still. So you might feel the movement from front to back, from inner to outer, from down to up. Just imagining yourself standing on a mountain, feet on the earth, adaptable, adapting to the landscape. adapting to whatever is in front of you now. Beautiful conversation in the beginning of class about, yeah, just adaptability to new situations. How can our bodies really become a metaphor for adaptable living? Soften the back of your knees and take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, let your eyes open, release the arms down by your sides, plugging the feet into the earth. Inhale, we'll sweep our arms wide and up, look to your thumb. And then turn the palms out. Let's swim our way up and over into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift hands to the shins, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, we'll step our left leg back into a lunge. Bring the back knee down to the floor and inhale, come up into a crescent lunge. One big breath here, sweeping the arms wide and up. And exhale, hands come down. We'll step back onto the knees or straight leg, lower down. Leading with your heart, we'll slide and glide right into cobra. Yeah, and then exhale, lower, press back through the knees. You're welcome to stay in half dog or come into full dog. And just breathe here in the beginning. Open your feet, open and soften. Yeah, and can you also open and soften the palms of the hands and feel those extremities meeting the ground, adapting to this position, this asana, this pose. We'll take another deep breath in here. And then follow the exhale all the way out. Look between your hands, left foot forward, back knee to the floor, and then stay rooted as you rise up, sweeping the arms. So keep the lower ribs knitting in and exhale, hands come down. We'll step all the way forward, inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Great, plug those feet in. And inhale, arms reach wide and up. Stay rooted as you rise. And then as you exhale, come up through the top of the head as you come back to mountain pose. Good, you guys. And we'll just keep going in this flow. Inhaling, arms reach up. And exhale, sweep the arms wide and up as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Shoulders roll back, long spine. Exhale, right leg comes back into a lunge, back knee down to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's do a cactus here just for the shoulder opening. Exhale, arms come down, elbows in. Inhale, reach arms back up, hands to the floor. Step back onto all fours or into plank and lower down. You decide. Inhaling, come through. Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. Great. Press back through the knees, half or full dog. And breathe. So you're just going to imagine you're squeezing, this is for the lower back, you're squeezing a block between your thighs, hugging those thigh bones in, and then starting to press the block back behind you. Yeah, so that's going to be a good stabilizer for the lower back. And take a peek at your ankles. You're going to see some creases in your ankles. See if you can lessen those creases by drawing the shins back. Yeah, so bottoms of the shins go back. Top of the shins actually come forward a little. And take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale all the way out. Step your right foot forward. Bring your back knee down. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's hook the thumbs here. The little bow forward, knit the front of the ribs in. Yes, and then curl back. So that's gonna also stabilize the lower back so you don't go into too much lumbar curve. Good, you guys. Exhale, release the hands, and we'll step all the way to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, deep bow. And plug your feet, reach the arms up, radiate. And exhale, you can take your hands right back to Samastitihi. Let's take a pause here for a moment. Reconnect through the bottoms of the feet and see if you can sense and just feel the skin on the bottoms of your feet, the big toe mound to the inner heel, the little toe mound to the outer heel, those four corners of your feet equally grounding. Yes, good. Take a nice deep breath in here. Let the eyes open, and we're going to exhale, add something in here. So we'll bend our knees and sweep the fingertips to the floor. So you want to reach your buttocks back behind you, and you can even look in towards your navel to begin with. So you're getting that softening in the groins, the tailbone moving, pubic bone moving back, behind you. That opens up the pelvic floor. Yeah, and then keep that opening as you drop your tailbone towards the heels and inhale, reach the arms up by the ears. So you stay here. If it's comfortable, you can look between the hands, Utkatasana, and breathe. You just want to be evenly back into the heels, a little bit forward in the feet. Another deep breath in here. And then exhale, release the hands and fold in. Good. And then inhale, look up, straight spine, and we'll step our right leg back, turn the back foot about 45 degrees out, and then sink your hips down, and hands are going to come here onto the hips for a moment. Yeah. So you can actually take your hands onto the side body and lift your ribs up off the pelvis. And then reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and you can sink a little bit deeper. And try to keep the grounding of the outer edge of your back foot. Yeah. Good, you guys. And then exhale, release. Hands to the floor. And we'll just step back to downward dog. And if you want to move through a vinyasa, you're welcome to. Otherwise, just stretching it back here feels so good. Find your breath again. Nice deep ujjayi, breathing with sound. And then our right foot steps forward, turn the back foot about 45 degrees out, and inhale, hands onto your hips. And again, just pause here. I love stopping here because it can help you really get more connected from the hips down through the feet, down into the outer edge of your back foot, right? Good. And then just start to lift up through the sides of the waist, reach the arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Just a couple of breaths here. Softly looking up. And then exhale, hands come down, and we'll step all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale. Let's come back to Uttanasana with the feet hip distance apart. This time we'll take our big toes. So you're going to wrap your thumb and index fingers around the toes. Get a nice, good grip on your toe, too. And then inhale, look up and lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to just imagine you're pulling the toes across the room. The elbows go wide and the shoulders move up away from the ears as the head lengthens. Yeah. So this pose is really easy to hyperextend. So you just want to make sure you're not doing that. You're going to come more into the balls of the toes without gripping the toes. Kneecaps are lifted, quads are engaged. Breathe deeply. Good. We're going to take one more variation where we slip the hands under the feet. So you're going to lift up, slide your hands under so toes are touching the creases of your wrist. Little shiatsu move with your feet here on your hands. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, fold forward again. You can ground the big toe mounds into the hands. Yeah. And let your head dangle like a pear on a tree. Deep letting go of the jaw. Yeah, imagine you have that block between your thighs and you're just lightly squeezing and pressing back. Great, you guys. And then inhale, look up, and exhale, we'll slide our hands onto the hips and then just root down through the legs as you rise up here and walk your feet together, big toes touching. You're just going to come back to the Samasthiti. So this is the nice place to come back and evaluate, like, how are my feet in relationship with the ground now compared to when we started? And what's happening through the upper structures of my body with all of this awareness of my feet? Just be curious more than anything. Top of the head finds the sky. Great. And then we'll let our eyes open and we're going to separate our feet about one leg length or so. Feel free if you guys have a block and you want to use a block. I'm going to grab my block here. So we're going to do a little series of standing postures. And we'll start with, actually going to start with Virabhadrasana 2. But I like to have the block there for the next variation. So outer foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, the arms spread wide. And then on the exhale, you're just going to bend your knee right over your ankle here. Okay. Once again, I'm feeling my water ski legs here, not easy to do today. The inner groins opening up, right? And the key is to keep the outer back foot grounding as you come into the front heel. And look over the fingertips. Little soft smile. So open the toes, open the feet. And then inhale, we'll reverse our warrior just for a breath. And exhale, you can take your hand to a block or forearm onto the thigh. Yeah, and just take a pause once you get here. And you can even look at your feet. Make sure the back foot, outer edge of your back foot stays grounded, and that's going to keep the arches of your feet alive. And then bend into the front knee a little bit more. Great. And just let the pose unfold. So no, we're not looking for perfection. We're just bringing more awareness into the base of the body today, the foundation, and then just letting things unfold from there. Good. Little smile on the face. Go ahead and take another nice full in-breath. Follow the exhale out. And then inhale, and you can take your block with you if you like. Turn to the other side. Outer foot parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, the arms stretch nice and wide, and exhale into Virabhadrasana 2. Just settle into your feet. So we keep the deep connection through the feet. Toes are opening, arches wakeful. Actually, when we wake up our arches, we're really stimulating the brain. And then inhale, we'll take it into the reverse position for one breath in. And then on the exhalation, hand to the block or forearm onto your thigh. It's nice to play with different ones. And then we'll stretch that right arm overhead, look towards the thumb, and breathe. Soften your gaze, soften your smile. So we work the detail, and then we also want to play with just letting go, being in the flow, being in the sensation. Exhaling all the way out. Inhale will come on up. Let's turn the feet parallel, and we're just going to scoot the feet in a little bit here. And yeah, let's come into starfish. So you can turn your toes out about 45 degrees, and we'll open the arms up here. I find this to be a great pose to really feel into the extremities of the body, the hands and feet as receptors. Feet really receptors for the earth, and hands receptors for the cosmos. And your body really is a conduit for earth and sky. Inhaling, look up, and then on the exhale, let's bring our hands to our hips and turn the feet parallel to each other. Great. And then from here, root down through the legs, open the chest, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. We'll take our hands to the floor. Great. Coming into the center of the feet, inhale, and exhale, fold in. Walk your hands in and just breathe. Take a good 5 to 7 breaths here. This is a great posture to work on just the feet and the arches. Right? So you can lift the inner arch, lift the outer arch, root down through the 4 corners, and then just keep letting go into the pose, breathing deeply. To one more breath, inhale. Exhale. Great, and then we'll inhale, walk the hands out, and exhale. If you need to scoot your feet in a little bit more, you can, hands to the hips, and inhale will come all the way up. And let's just walk our feet right in to the mountain pose again, and just take a moment and feel, integrate. I find these moments so key for integrating the opening, the shift, letting the body adjust, adapt. So when something on the outer has a big impact in our life or a big change, how do we adapt to that change? How do we not fall back into old patterns and adapt to what's new? Softening the back body, opening the heart space. Great, let's open our eyes again, and let's take our feet wide again. And we're gonna take our blocks we're gonna do a series of triangle into half moon. Okay, so you can, if you have a block, just put it on the outside of your foot. Don't worry about it if you don't. Take a big breath in with the arms spreading wide. Inhale, open feet. Exhale, reach out with your right arm as you come into triangle pose. The hips are gonna tip. Yeah, hand can come onto the shin, ankle, or block. And then turn to look up and breathe. Just take a moment as you first come in, open, soften. Find that foundation through your ground, eyes soft. And you can even just feel the spirals here in the legs and how that affects the feet, and the arms and shoulders. Good, you guys. And then on the exhale, look down at your foot, bend your front knee, and we're going to take our block with us if you have it. So you're going to step your back foot in and come up onto the right leg. And just take a moment and stabilize here and feel into the back leg, and feel into your back foot. So again, nice to just imagine nice bright colored paint, and you're pressing that foot behind you, reaching into space. Draw the outer right hip under and open and extend, expand. Just breathe here. I find this pose really stabilizes when you bring your attention into the feet and the rotation. One more big in breath, and then look down on your out breath, bend your knee, gracefully step back, and we'll come all the way up here, turning the feet parallel. And then we'll just move over to the other side, starting with our triangle pose here. Nice deep breath in, arms stretched wide. Just feel the opening of the bones, joints. Exhale, hand comes to the shin or ankle, and turn to look up slowly. And again, just to start with a softening, the opening. Soften your joints. Deep Ujjayi breaths. Good, you guys. One more nice big breath here. Spread your toes. Exhale, look down. Bend your front knee, and you'll step in with your back foot and come up onto the left leg and pause. Yeah. So we want to start with the stabilizing of the standing leg, right? So we find that stability. You're going to be working stability in your ankle here, right? Draw the outer left hip back and under. Yep, scooping the tail. And then you'll start to feel out into the extremities, back foot, fingers reaching into space. Ooh. And if you feel a little tippy, it's okay. It's your body working that proprioception. Yeah, so just do your best. Breathe in, breathe out, smile, and then exhale, look down, bend your knee, gracefully stepping back to triangle just for a breath. And then we'll come all the way up, turning the feet parallel. Move toe heel or step your feet in. Close your eyes and just be with the natural self-organizing capacity of your body. Yeah, so you might start to notice where you tend to hold yourself up and just let it down. Drop your weight into your feet and let that same weight come back through your feet. That's how gravity comes back up to meet us as we let down into it. Great, you guys. And then let's open our eyes. And so we'll just do one or two more standing poses, and then we'll work our way onto the floor. So let's come here into tree pose. We'll start by standing. Let's stand on our left leg and lift the right foot to wherever it goes. It can be the inner shin, somewhere on the inner thigh. You just don't want to press on your knee. Okay. Yeah, and then if you have it on your inner thigh, you're actually bringing the thigh and the foot together to create stability. And then the hands can come to the heart here for a moment. Find your breath. Yeah. You can also feel in this pose the ankle really working here. Great work for stabilizing the ankle joint. Good. And then see if by going down, you can also start to go up. Yeah, and then eventually the arms come up in this full expression of Vrikshasana, the tree pose. Yeah. Good. Take another breath or two and just go into whatever full expression you want to be in today. Maybe it's eyes closed, a little back bend, and then exhale, woo, release. Great. And we're going to go right into a hip opening, which is great for the lower back today. So you can just place your right ankle right here on your thigh, come down, maybe hands come here onto the shin. Yeah, just breathing. Find your edge and keep this right foot a little bit flexed. Good, you guys. And finish it out. Ooh, and then inhale, come on up. I was feeling that in my left ankle a lot. So you can shake out your left foot, hip. Ooh. Yeah. And then we'll come to the other side. So standing on the right leg. And then as you're ready, bring your foot somewhere on your inner right leg. Find that sweet spot. Hug in. This side's a little harder for me. Yeah. Good. So feel those deep roots growing down. Imagine them growing a couple of feet down into the earth. And then from that going down, the rebound comes back up through the spine, reaching through the arms. Stay with your breath, a little smile, coming into your fullest expression here of the pose. Ooh, and then when you're ready, exhale, release. Good, you guys, shake it all out. Whew. And then let's come to we're going to come to the front of our mats, and you can come right down into a squat. Yeah. And so depending on your Achilles, your flexibility in the back of your ankles, you may want to roll up your mat for the heels to sit on, or if you can sit right back on your heels, go for it. And the knees and feet can turn out here. And arms come to the inside, elbows come to the inside, and then we're just gently grounding through the feet to bring the chest through the gates of the arms. Breathe. I feel this a lot. I feel it both in my ankles and in my whole kind of lower back, lumbar area. Nice opening in the QL, quadratus lumborum. So just breathe into your lower back. You can also kind of curl in a little bit. There's lots of apana in this pose. Apana is the down and in flowing energy. The energy of elimination. Great pose for the digestion. Great. All right, and then we're just gonna sit back on our bouteilles and stretch the legs out in front. And let's just do a little bit of work here in the, getting the meridians to flow more. So we're just gonna lightly tap the feet. And you can tap the inner and then the outer. You're getting kind of the big toes to tap on top and on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll do some ankle circles here. So circle in to begin with, and then we're going to circle out. Yeah, just getting all that chi to flow through the ankles, feet, toes. Okay, and then we're just going to tap our legs a little bit down the outside. The feet, great. Okay, and then go ahead and pick up your left thigh, roll it in as you pull the flesh out from the sitting bone. Do the same on the other side. And then hands come back behind you for Dandasana. So let's just sit up nice and tall here, grounding your thigh bones as though you have a couple of nice heavy sandbags on your thighs. You're going to root down, and from that rooting down, we rise, we go up. Little slight drop of the chin. And just see if you can feel the skin on the soles of your feet, just spreading, opening. Beautiful. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, and you're just going to hinge at your hips. If you have any lower back issues today, maybe don't go quite as far. And just coming into Paschimottanasana, forward fold, whatever variation serves you today. A few breaths here. Inhaling, root down through the thighs, lift the belly, lengthen the side waist, and exhale, mouth forward. Elbows float. Great. And then inhale, coming up, and exhale. And let's bend our left knee out to the side for Janu Shirshasana. This is really good for lower back stuff, hips. Yeah. And then hands on either side of your right leg. Inhale, we're going to lift up through the sides of the waist, rotate a little bit to the right, and then exhale, walk your hands out. If you can, take your foot or ankle, whatever's available. Take another deep breath or two here, inhaling, exhale. So the inhalation brings more space into the tension points. And in the exhalation, we just soften and release. Listen to your breath, last few rounds. Good, inhale coming up. And then let's just widen our stance a little bit. And we're gonna come with the hands on the inside here, walk it out. Great, and then we'll walk our hands back in and let's stretch out both legs. And we'll just come back to some tapping with the feet. Yeah, and just tapping the legs, shaking them out. Okay, and then let's go into Janu Shirshasana on the right side. Yeah, and inhale, reach the arms up this time, and exhale, rotate left as you come forward and down. And elbows can stay light, so you want to have the shoulder blades sliding down the back. Yeah, thigh bone is grounding still, and the foot is articulating, right? So the outer edge of your foot is pulling back towards the outer left hip. That's kind of activating the outer arch of your foot. Listen to your breath, nice, slow, steady. You can always use your left hand on the outside of the foot as a little stabilizer. Good. Inhale. Exhale, hold. And then inhale, come on up. And exhale. Let's come back to, let's see. So a little bit more work here where we stretch both legs open. We'll come into Upavista Konasana here. And you just want to make sure, yeah, you're sitting up on your sitting bones. The lower back draws in and up a little bit. Thigh bones root down. And you can have your hands behind you to get the spine a little more upright. Upavista Konasana. And then if you want to go a little further, hands walk out in front and you'll just slowly kind of ease your way in, feel your way in, go to that first edge and wait for the opening. No need to push or rush. Soften into the sensation. So deepen your in-breath, lengthen your out-breath. Good, and then we'll walk our hands back in and we're gonna walk over to the left side and you can come up and over the left leg. Yeah, keeping those elbows light. The feet wakeful. Great, and then we'll inhale, come on up and exhale, turn to the right side and we'll come up and over the right leg. And I just like to hold the inside of the foot and then use my other hand on the outside of the leg. Just listening, nice deep Ujjayi breaths. Good, you guys. And then inhale, come on up. Let's bend the knees. We'll come right into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. And then it's nice to pick up your hips and just scoot your sitting bones back a little bit so that you kind of get a little internal rotation in the thighs, and start with a few breaths, sitting up nice and tall through the top of the head. Soft smile on your face. And then we'll separate our feet like a book and come down and in. So you'll just find your sweet edge here. Rolling in, resting in. And just allowing the opening of the groins, the thighs. Take a few more breaths here. You can even massage your feet with your thumbs just a little bit, just pressing on any of the tender points here. Squeezing, you can even go up the inner shins and just press your thumbs right along the shin bone. Yeah. Good. Great. And then we'll inhale, come on up and lift the knees. And good, let's exhale. Come onto all fours and just reach back into a half dog pose. And then we'll come down onto our forearms, onto our bellies, and just rest here. Stack your hands and take a moment. And you can even turn the toes in towards each other. And just take some breaths. Good, let's come up onto our forearms and just melt your heart, soften, melt, spread all 10 toes. And then just use the forearms here to just really subtly draw the chest right through the gates of the arms. Listen to your breath, and you can look over the left shoulder and just let your eyes stretch. Take a little eye stretch here, maybe up to one part of the ceiling and then the other. Come back to center, take a moment, pause. And then when you're ready, you can turn your gaze, turn your head to the right. And just play with your eye gaze in different directions. And then come back to center. Let's take a pause again, resting the head on stacked hands. And breathe. Great. And then let's take our hands by our chest. We're just going to press back. And we'll lie on our backs here. And if you have a strap, you guys can just have your strap handy. Do a tiny bit more footwork. You can do it without the strap too if you don't have a strap. So draw your, you can keep the left knee bent for a moment and then stretch the right leg up to the sky. And if you don't have a strap, just hold your calf. And then you can play here with keeping your left knee bent or straightening it out. You decide. This is mostly a stretch for the foot. So you don't want to put a lot of stress on the hamstring here. So lots and lots of slack. Yeah, and so if you need to, bend your knee. And you want to work on pulling that foot down. If you don't have the strap, you're just going to flex your foot. And you're pulling with the strap down on the ball of the foot. And you should start to feel that whole back line of your leg opening up. The heel, the Achilles, the calf, and all the way through to the hip and lower back. Just take a few more breaths here. Yeah. And it's nice, even with the hands here gripping the strap, you're getting some good work in the hands. Now we're going to switch it out. Just draw your left foot right up in and stretch out your right leg, however it feels good. Mm. Mm. And just gently pull down on your foot. You'll feel the deep work all along the back of your left leg, into your hip, your butt. Just a couple more breaths. Yeah, good, you guys. And then exhale, release. And we'll bend both our knees, bring our feet about hip distance apart. You're welcome to use a block between your thighs if that feels good on your lower back. I'm going to come up into the bridge pose by lifting the hips. Good. Interlace the hands and walk the shoulders straight in. And just breathe. Squeezing in through the inner thighs to lift the hips a little higher, press into the feet. So just feel that nice work in your feet, the arches engaged, alive, working, adapting. Good. We'll just take one more nice big breath in here. Press the inner heels to get higher, and then release the hands, lower back down, and rest the knees into each other. And you can take the hands onto the belly. Just rest. And slow your breath down. Just tune your attention fully into your breathing. Just take maybe 3 more full cycles as you inhale. Breathe evenly into the front, the back, the sides of your body. And as you exhale, just gentle release. Two more cycles. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and make our way into the final resting pose. We're going to take a stiff corpse to begin with. So you'll just bring your feet together and flex your feet, and the arms come down by your sides. And you can even take a little fist with your hands and just kind of squeeze into a stiff corpse pose. So you're squeezing in. You can even take a little lemon lime in your face, squeezing your face in, tensing the whole body. And then on your exhale, you're just going to slowly unravel. Stretch open the palms, the feet, relax, arms to your side. And just start to unravel letting everything soften, open. Just visualize a lotus flower, which I just saw a bunch of on the lake back in New York, just coming up from the muck and delicately resting on the surface of the water. Your body delicately opening on the surface of the earth. Let go of your ujjayi breath. Relax the jaw, the corners of your mouth. Continuing to allow your body to rest, your mind to rest. Relaxing any stress, any residual holding as you make your way back to your breath, feeling the borders of your skin, particularly around your feet, your receptors. And as you're ready, begin to deepen your breath and find some very subtle, small movements through the toes, fingers, ankles, and the wrists. And you can stretch the arms overhead, give yourself a nice full body stretch, and then roll to one side and just take a pause moment. Integrate the practice. You're going to push your way up to a comfortable seat, hands folding at our heart center. So just imagine and see yourself walking into your day, adapting to whatever situation you encounter, knowing that you have this inner resource, the feet that help you ground and adapt. Take a deep breath in, lifting the thumbs to the third eye. And as you exhale, sweet bow, feeling in your practice.